Do you know what? On Manchester United talk about bringing players in who can't get in their team. Juventus got rid of him. He wasn't good enough at Juventus. He's obviously not been good enough at Bayern Munich, and he's coming to us as like almost like a second-rate defender now.
We'll go to Adam on Manchester United. 8th last season. I think your worst finish in the Premier League, but you finished the season with the FA Cup. Where are Manchester United supporters right now on the situation at the top of the club with the manager and the ownership?
I've just been on a tour, so I'm feeling super confident because it's been, you know, you're in the sun in California and all that, and you're watching your team. Ruud van Nistelrooy's there, got a little bit of swagger.
Did you not watch the Liverpool game?
I was. To be fair, at half time, I switched off. I went to the bar, but no, it was good to be out there, and you kind of see what's going on with Ineos's introductions of Wilcox and Ashworth and Barada, and it feels like there's a collaborative effort going on now. You see them all at the training pitch. That obviously brings pressures with it to the manager, I think, because he's being constantly watched. But I did want to see Erik ten Hag with that structure in place. I wanted to see him with those guys in place because I think he can do something at the club. And I think a lot of the coaches that were being linked, Gareth Southgate and all that, like, oh, do me a favour. I didn't want them anywhere near Manchester United. So I wanted to see Ten Hag give him some time, even before the cup final. Seeing him win it, it was great. Obviously, great day out at Wembley. But we need to do something proper in the Premier League this season. It hasn't started well because we bring in Lenny Yoro, young lad, he gets injured for 3 months, kind of continuing our form from last year with the injuries. And there's a few places we need to fix, like the holding midfield position for me. We were speaking about Liverpool with it there. I think in a couple of years, everyone's going to be knocking on Palace's door for Adam Wharton. And the price for him could go sky high because everyone needs a player like that at the moment. And that's someone that we need. Casemiro's legs are gone at times. And I think if we have to play him 40, 50 games next season, then we're in trouble. So we do need to bring someone in that position. But it does feel like there's been a shift in momentum, and it feels like there's a little bit more confidence around the club when you've got football people making decisions. With the Glazers, it kind of felt like they went, right, you're the manager, now piss off and make it work. And they never really seemed to help the manager out, and it does feel like they're doing that at the moment. But he needs to get off to a good start because with Ruud being there, I feel like couple of games in, if the camera's going to keep cutting to Ruud looking at his watch and all that, and the talk's going to start for Ruud van Nistelrooy. We've got to do some business. We keep looking at a right back, which I don't mind, but left back's a big issue for me. You got Luke Shaw, who could only be asked to get fit for England, isn't fit for Manchester United. He'll probably turn up broken biscuits at Carrington this summer. And then you've got Terrell Malacia, who's an NFT for all as I know. He's never been about. So we need to sort out left back. We need to get in another centre.
What has happened to him? Do we know? Has anybody said what's wrong with him?
I genuinely don't know.
Must be 14 months now. Christmas again.
Yeah, he's out again. Like I don't know what's happened to him. And he wasn't a starter for us, but he was someone that challenged Luke Shaw. And Luke Shaw needs a little prod. He needs a little bit of a challenge.
I don't think it'd be a challenge, more of a replacement if Luke Shaw's injured, isn't it? There's not many better than Luke Shaw when he's fit.
What do you think, Scholes? I mean, you seem pretty confident in the fact that there's structure behind and the club's more together, and you think that'll be a big help.
Still got a lot of business to do, though.
No, but what I mean is, do you share that confidence just because there's no owners, or you just look at the manager?
No, I have heard a lot of United fans saying recently that they're excited for the new season. I'm struggling to get excited for it. We were talking beforehand about the middle of the pitch being an area where it was just fucking empty most of the time. Teams just breaking through us all day long. You mentioned Casemiro's legs going a little bit. He's never been that type of player anyway, has he? He's never been the quickest around the pitch. He had great players around him. I think at the start of last year, with Mason Mount coming into the team, I think Ten Hag is he's a coach who likes to go for it, I think. Then he had to change because it wasn't quite working. I think he tried to play Casemiro with Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes, which two number 10s, two footballers really who aren't really bothered about playing that position well. So that quickly changed. Obviously, Mason Mount got injured. Are we going to see a fit Mason Mount this year? Even if we see a fit Mason Mount, when he was signed, he doesn't play instead of Bruno Fernandes, and that's the only position I see him playing. But I still think there are other areas of the pitch which are a problem. You mentioned the young centre-half coming in. Yeah, great, but he's 18 years of age. He's already got injured. Martinez injured a lot. Maguire got injured towards the end of the last season. Lindelof, no Varane. And look, Varane was good, but again, injured all the time. I still worry about
My
the goal. I
confidence in
still
the
worry about the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's a big
Yeah.
concern for me. Even watching the pre-season games, a couple of goals he conceded against Liverpool.
Scholes,
I worry to death about him.
Do you worry for the manager? Because there will be a lot of eyes
Yeah.
on him because of the situation at the end of last season when there was that sort of 2 or 3 week period where he wasn't quite sure if he was still going to be the manager. I mean, you know, we all know how the world works, that if Manchester United get off to a poor start, there'll be so many eyes on him. How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, I'm concerned for him. He has to get off to a good start. It has to be so much better than last season. You know, when they stuck with him, I was quite happy because I do like the thought of continuity. We've been through so many managers now; it's just ridiculous. But on the other hand, to that, from the first season to the second season, you like to see a bit of improvement. But anything, it got worse.
I think the injuries didn't help last season. I know I'm kind of making an excuse for him. I think he got a lot of things wrong, but the injuries were disastrous. And there's talk about us possibly bringing in De Ligt, who I think could be a good signing, because then you don't have to rely upon Lindelof and Maguire, who I don't think will ever be good enough for Manchester United.
Do you know what? Manchester United talk about bringing players in who can't get in their team. From Bayern Munich. He's not played for them. That's a big concern.
He had a couple.
That has to be a big concern for me, especially when Eric Dyer's playing in front of him.
Yeah, I think he did have a few injuries.
I'm not joking. That is a massive concern for me. When you're bringing in players for 40, 50 million pound, okay, just because he's played for him 3 or 4 years ago. Juventus got rid of him. He wasn't good enough at Juventus. He's obviously not been good enough at Bayern Munich, and he's coming to us as almost like a second-rate defender now.
I don't know. I think De Ligt would be a good signing. I like that.
Do you know what he might be? Don't get me wrong.
Well, the manager knows him, doesn't he, from Ajax?
Yes, of course. That's a big boost.
Well, that's not a good sign. He signed Anthony as well. Which,
yeah, but you've also got to look at forward players. We haven't got Højlund. Could he score 25 goals for this season? I'd be amazed. I'd be surprised when you look at someone like Ivan Toney. If he could come to you, could he score 25? I think he could.
I feel sorry for Højlund, mate.
Yeah, right. Look, I think he's really good, Carol, but he's been brought into this country as what was he, 19 years of age? He has to be the number 9
for Man U.
For Man United. It's an iconic role, going after players who are scoring 25, 30 goals, brilliant goals, and winning league titles. It almost feels
like he should have gone to I would say a mid-table Premier League club for 2 or 3 years and then
gets that one.
To me, he should have been a second.
You said that, not me.
He should have been a second, third, or fourth striker at a big club. Now, bringing experience, and they brought Xerxes, is it? I'll be honest, I've never seen him play.
A big season for Rashford, you know. He's got to regain.
Yeah, I'm thinking more about centre forward. I don't think Marcus.
I think he's got to try.
I think Marcus could play centre forward, but he's much better to that left hand side. I think goals are going to be a problem. I had a little look at Xerxes. I don't think he's a great goal scorer where he's been in Italy. He's Bayern Munich's second team. I think he's got like 40 goals in nearly 150 games or something, which. Coming to the Premier League, it's going to be more difficult, and that
right hand side's a bit of a worry as well, because you look at that and you go, we spent about 200 million on Sancho, Anthony, and Ahmad. Yeah, and I think Ahmad's.
There's also Garnacho who could play there.
Yeah. Garnacho can play there, but I'd like to see him on the left challenging Rashford. Rashford needs to be kept on his toes a bit this season.
But out of the 4 or 5, and they're probably the best 2, but they both want to play on the left hand side.
Yeah.
Which could be a problem.
Adam, what's success for Manchester United this season at Ten Hag?
Get back in the top 4. See where we're at in Christmas, and then we'll never know, innit? But I think it could be a weird season. We don't know what Liverpool are going to look like. Aston Villa could struggle with the addition of Champions League football. That top 4 could become doable for a lot of teams. So I think if you can get top 4 and then build from there, make the manager feel comfortable in his position again, and hopefully get a little bit of confidence. I've seen a swagger from him, you know, and he seems to have a little bit of a...
Dutch. They've all got a swagger,
he has a little bit of an aggression about him. Like I like this comment after the cup final where he went, well, I'll go and win trophies somewhere else then if they don't want me. I like that. I hope he brings that into the season, because last season he felt like he was a little bit overwhelmed by it all at times and everything was catching up with him. I like him, man. I want to see him be a success. So
gone by October.
Huh?
It's gone.
Before Ange, you're mental, ain't you?
He's first out the door, stitched on.
We'll be singing Rue Van Nistelrooy Tra-la-la-la, so it'll be all right.
Scholesy, where do you think United will finish?
I think the very best they can do is 4th. They've got to improve on the 8th, haven't they?
Has the manager got to change? the way he set his team up. Adam mentioned injuries before. Do you think injuries was the problem, or the tactical setup of the team, or was it a mixture of both?
Yeah, I think probably a mixture of both. As I said earlier in the season, I thought he thought he could be a little bit gung-ho in the Premier League, and he found out quickly that he couldn't be. And you think about the cup final, where there were a lot more discipline in the middle of the pitch. Amrabat played, got around the pitch, man. Pardon?
Played without a striker.
Played without a striker, exactly, yeah. Sometimes when you play against these big teams, you've got to sacrifice your belief sometimes. And we'll see. We've seen in the Premier League last year with Burnley. There'll be Southampton this year who'll try and play the same way, but you've got to sacrifice your way sometimes just to get yourself results. And it's all about getting results. Performance, forget about it. If you win a cup final, it's got to be the result against the best team. Now, there will be times in the Premier League where you can go for it, and you might be okay against some teams just being a bit more expansive, but in the main, there's so many good teams knocking about. I think you've just got to be disciplined.
There's a nucleus there, I think, to be hopeful about, though. You look at Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho, Højlund is still young. You're bringing in Lenny Arrow. There's like a nucleus of young players. I think there's a few coming through the academy as well that are looking good. So there is hope there for, I think, Manchester United fans, especially with some of those young lads at the class.
So that was Adam McKola chatting to the legend that is Paul Scholes on the overlap, and also Jamie Carragher as well. Some interesting comments there and thoughts on Matthijs de Ligt. And I'm with Macca. I think he'd be a very good signing for Manchester United. Scholes didn't seem that keen on him, did he? And he also said, you don't get in the Bayern Munich team and this, that and the other, which I thought was a bit harsh. But get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with Macca? Do you want to see Scholesy, I'd love to see Scholesy back in the United team. Do you want to see Matthijs de Ligt in that team? Or do you have reservations like Paul Scholes does? Are you somewhere in between? Let us know what you think. And don't forget as well to hit like, share and subscribe. And also go and check out the overlap, the full extended version over on their channel as well. Thanks for watching.